What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. My name is Nick. Today I'll be walking you through the essential maintenance for the Bambu Lab H2S. All the maintenance that actually keeps this machine printing clean and consistent. We've invested a lot of money into our printers, so let's make sure we can continue to get the most out of them. I'll also point out a few tools that I personally keep on hand and use across all of my printers. They save time, cut down on frustration, and make the maintenance process just a lot better. And to build on to my previous maintenance videos, I put together a one-page H2S maintenance guide. You can print it out, keep it next to your printer, and use it as a simple checklist so nothing ever gets skipped. There's also a tracking section to help you stay consistent over time if you like keeping things organized, and I'll have that linked down below. All right, let's get right to it. The maintenance schedule for the H2S has been simplified from Bambu Labs. Rather than going off how many hours you're running your machine per month, it's just by time interval and there's only two to follow. Every single month, we need to maintain our X-axis linear guideway. For everything else, it is recommended every 3 months. I actually already follow this maintenance plan for most of my machines. It makes it so much more streamlined to get every printer on the same schedule. Having a set schedule that you stick to is much better than missing a schedule completely. So this method really works for me. First, let's set the bed all the way up. Go into the control panel and the second icon on the left, then hit the motion button. Next, tap the home button, which is the icon of the house. The bed should now be about 10 millimeters from the nozzle. Now, usually I would take my printers outside to blow them out and clean them, but there is no way I'm going to carry this machine on my own. So first, what I'm going to do is remove all the debris from inside my case with a vacuum. Next, I'll quickly blow out any debris using my Wolfbox air blower. This is a great tool that I've been using consistently with all of my printers, and it makes cleaning out all the enclosures much easier. Now, the great thing about having this flipper mod installed on my H2S is that you don't have to disconnect the AMS. All you have to do is lock the top and flip it up. Then you can remove the top glass. This saves time of having to disconnect and reconnect the AMS. If you haven't yet watched my video on this mod, I'll drop a link down below. I highly recommend it for the H series printers. Once that is done, I like to hit the tool head fan on the side. Using a small amount of pressure from your finger to keep the fan from spinning, give it a good hit. Next, remove the tool head cover and hit that with some air as well. Now you're going to notice that there is a lot of filament dust all over the inside of your printer. We're going to clean that out with a damp microfiber cloth using IPA. I recommend a rubber glove so you don't dry out your hands. It's already pretty dry here in Arizona, so I'm definitely going to protect my hands from this stuff. Clean off all the sides of the tool head. Behind the tool head front cover, the back side behind the tool head gets pretty dusty as well, so wipe that off. Also, the filament wiper area gets pretty bad. Anywhere you see powdery dust, give it a good clean. Next, let's make sure to remove all the dust from the filament chain and PTFE tube. I'm sure you've noticed that it was pretty dusty. I think this is pretty straightforward and there's no need for me to teach you how to clean dust. Since we already have our microfiber towel with some IPA, let's go ahead and clean the linear guideway. This is the shiny bar that the tool head moves left and right on. First, move the tool head all the way to the left and give it a good wipe. Next, move the tool head to the right and clean the rest. Now it's time to lubricate with some lubricating oil. Since these rails are the same as the A1, I'm going to use this very helpful tool that I found on MakerWorld, and the link will be down below. With these two caps, you can print and attach to the tip of the super lube. It makes this process so much easier, and especially for the underside of the rail. And yes, we are going to have to lubricate the underside. I have seen others miss this step before, so with this new cap attached, use the lip on it and let it ride inside the rail. Using this cap very lightly, and I mean light, squeeze the super lube bottle and lubricate the underside of the guide rail. Next, move the tool head to the other side and get the remainder of the underside of the rail. Now it's time to switch to the other cap for the top rail. Now, using the same method, lightly run a small bead of lubricating oil along the top rail. Again, move the tool head to the side and finish the entire rail. Now move the tool head back and forth 2 or 3 times to spread the oil evenly. Once that is done, wipe away any excess lube on the ends of the rails. Now let's go ahead and clean and lubricate the Y-axis linear rails. There are one on each side of the machine. Now with our damp IPA cloth, wipe away any debris from the entire rods first. Next, we're going to use our precision needle tip bottle. They also come with this rubber cap, so I have modified that cap and cut off the end to create a rubber bumper so as not to scratch the rods. This was a tip from one of my viewers and it works great. Another option would be to use the plastic tip that comes with these bottles as well, but I like the needle tip with the bumper, so I'll just use that. To apply the lubricating oil on the top and the bottom, you can use a zigzag pattern going above and below the rods. We need to make sure both sides of the rods get lubricated enough. Apply lube on both sides and again, make sure you hit the entire rod, moving the tool head out of the way and continuing to apply. Once that is done, move the tool head forward and back a few times to spread out the oil. Last, remove any excess oil left onto the rods. Also, as a small tip, make sure to not get any oil on the belts. If you happen to do so, use an IPA damp cloth and wipe it away. Next, we need to clean and lubricate the Z or the up and down linear rods. Then clean and apply grease to the Z screws. The rods get lubrication oil and the screws get grease, just so that we're clear. First, with a microfiber towel, clean away debris from the rods. Next, with a clean area on the towel, wipe away any and all grease and give them a good deep clean. Next, you can either apply some lubricating oil to a small spot on your microfiber towel, or if you want, you can apply a small amount of lubricating oil to the Z linear rods. Make sure if you apply directly to the rods that it does not drip down. It is okay to have excess lube on the rods at this point because later we'll raise and lower the bed to apply evenly. Now with the white lithium grease and the additional Maker World tip and cap, the printable link will be down below as well. We now apply grease along the screws at every half to 1 inch or 20 millimeters. I use a tapping method and apply pressure to the bottle while applying little blobs to the screws. No need to overdo this part, a little grease goes a long way. Just be sure to apply to the entire screw. Now that we've oiled our rods and greased the screws, it is time to move the bed up and down a few times. Go into the control panel again, second icon on the left, then hit the motion button. Once you're in there, hit the heat bed down arrow until it goes all the way down. Then do it again all the way up. Do this 2 or 3 times until evenly applied, stopping the bed all the way down. Wipe away any excess grease on the bottom or the top of the rods. And again, check for excess oil on the rails. Now with our clean microfiber towel and some IPA, let's finish wiping away dust from the tool head and clean the camera on the right hand side of the tool head. After that, let's clean the time-lapse camera on the left-hand side of the enclosure. Next, we're going to clean out the carbon fiber filter and cover. Remove the cover by pressing down and pulling out. Next, remove the carbon filter. I'm going to take these outside and use the Wolfbox air gun to blow out the cover and the filter. If you have a laser module or use your printer over 500 hours a month, I would consider replacing the filters soon. Before reinstalling the filters and cover, wipe away any debris with a clean cloth. Then reinstall the filter and cover. Install the cover from the bottom in first, then the top for the correct installation. Next, let's go ahead and check out our exhaust grill on the back. If you notice debris buildup behind the blades, I would consider removing and cleaning it out. The trick to removing the grills is to pull out from the middle, giving it a little bow shape, then removing the right tab, then the left. Repeat that for each grill. Behind the grill will expose the exhaust fan. I just give it a good wipe down and hit it with my air gun. Again, I don't have a laser module, so it's not all that dirty. Now back to our tool head. If your rubber boot looks like mine, it's probably time to replace it. The boot acts as a reflectant from filament sticking to the nozzle. So once you start to see buildup, it's time to clean and replace it. I just squeeze both sides and pull down and it should come right out. Now to replace it with a new one, it is a little tricky, but again, squeeze both sides, make sure you wrap it around the entire nozzle and push in and up. Once it is mostly seated, you can wiggle it into place. Now the filament cutter is always good to check a few times a year unless you're doing a ton of multicolor, then I would check it at every maintenance. Now you can use a hand Allen tool, but I value my time, so I use this Fantech electric screwdriver. To remove the screw on the right hand side, apply pressure to the cutter arm and unscrew it. Once that is out, the arm will swing down and reveal the cutter blade. Pull it out, check it for dullness or chips. If you notice either of those, use your judgment, you can replace it, and your machine should have came with some replacements. Next, replace the blade, lift the blade up into the left and the cutter arm up and replace the screw. Next, replace the tool head front cover. Now, after every cleaning, you're welcome to run a calibration. It isn't absolutely needed, but it is a good routine to end your maintenance. In the control panel, hit the gear icon, the fourth one down on the left, then hit the calibration button. There'll be some options in there next. Select what you like, and then hit run. Next, go into print calibration, then hit start. All right, and that's the last step for our H2S maintenance. Just simple routine maintenance that keeps your Bambu Lab H2S running the way it's supposed to. If you stay consistent with this, you'll see way more reliable prints, fewer random issues, and a machine that just works. Oh, and before you go, don't forget to grab the H2S one-page maintenance quick guide. It's a straightforward checklist. You can print it out, keep it next to your printer so nothing ever gets missed. And there's also a tracking section included to help you keep tabs on your maintenance and know exactly what was done and when. You'll find that linked down below. If this video has helped you out, hit that like button, and if you want more no fluff 3D printing tutorials, make sure you're subscribed. Again, my name is Nick, and as always, happy printing.